Now, let's talk about sales and distribution module. So, sales and distribution module is one of the functional areas in SAP ERP application. So, we call the sales and shipping part of a business as sales and distribution here. So, it deals with sales activities like how you sell, you record sales activities in system for a business, and how you carry out distribution of products to customers after sale. So when you take sales, let's say you wanted to buy uh, a laptop. So in this case, first you go and inquire about the product. So when you go for an inquiry, the outlet creates the sales outlet creates an inquiry on your name by taking your contact details and your basic information like name, contact information, email address, and uh, your mobile number extra. So the basic information. So then let's say you have you have liked this product you wanted to buy in this outlet. So you go for a quote, that is quotation. So when you ask for a quotation for a product, so again, so the outlet, the employee of, sales employee who deal the transaction is going to create a quotation, but he'll not be asking you details again because he has already stored your information in inquiry. So he uses this inquiry information to create quotation. So in this quotation, you get details of the product and the guarantee, warranty, or the price information, and also the discount and tax information. So all other necessary details about the product. So when he generates a quotation, he'll give you a copy of that, maybe a print of a quotation or an email copy, a PDF through an email. So let's say you are okay with this quote and you wanted to buy this product. So then he converts this quotation into sales order. So the sales order copy again is sent to you through mail, or you'll also get a confirmation on your mobile number through a through a text message, nowadays a WhatsApp message as well. Correct? Yeah. So when you go to purchase, when you decided to purchase this, an order is created in the system, and based on the delivery, like availability of the product. So this order will be delivered to you. Let's say they create a sales order for this. They create a delivery for the sales order. That's where your shipping process starts. Once the product is shipped, then they create a billing document that is called your invoice. So these are the activities, major activities you do in sales and distribution module. So when you create a sales order, so there will be several basic functions you carry out uh, to make the sales easy. In which way it is going to be easy sales process. So when you create a sales order without calculating the price and discounts, it just automatically determines in the sales order. There is a basic function called pricing, which is very important in sales and distribution module, that works in backend to fetch your necessary pricing values, component values into your sales order line item. So line item means your product, the item details, laptop. So laptop is priced based on the automatic settings which are already set in background in pricing component. So then you receive an output. Let's say you receive a text message a WhatsApp message, and a PDF copy to your email. These all are output forms, types of outputs. So, so we have something called output determination here in SAP. So you use this output to send this confirmation to the customer. So like this, you have several basic functions which are carried out at the time of saving sales order in the system. So if you take entire sales and distribution module, you revolve around the sales process. Throughout your sales and distribution course, you will be working to minimize the efforts or to automate the functions either in inquiry or quotation or sales order or delivery or billing document. So in this entire course, you will be focusing on automating these processes. So why you have to automate? That's the major question, right? So think about a situation or a scenario. Think you as a sales employee or an order entry clerk who creates sales orders in a business, in an organized business. So it takes, so you have to create 100 orders in a day, 100 sales orders in a day. And if you don't automate these basic functions, think about the time it takes to calculate your pricing manually. You wanted to calculate price for a product manually. So how much time it takes? Minimum 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, definitely it takes minimum 5 to 10 minutes. If you automate this process, so you can save this, let's say minimum this, in worst case, you can save 5 minutes of time for each sales order. So you're going to save 5 minutes of time for each sales order and calculate the total time you save for all these 100 orders in a day. So this is how it helps to reduce the processing time in order entry or transaction processing. Not only sales, in case of delivery, in case of billing, or in case of creating inquiry or quotation, wherever it is. So we will be focusing on minimizing or automating the basic functions or the business process wherever it is possible. Okay. So there are many other basic functions. We will be discussing about them in future sessions, upcoming sessions. So this is about the brief introduction of sales and distribution module in SAP. So moving to next topic. Let's now, we will talk about SAP ERP application, the basics of ERP application. Let's say, so this is where I have installed my SAP application. So I have already opened it, but I'll start from login screen. Yes, click on this SAP logon icon to open SAP server is displayed here. This is what my application. Select this. This is already selected. Press enter. So this is your logon screen. How to enter user ID and password. I'm getting this pop-up because I have already logged into this user. That is the reason I'm getting it. If you want to close the previous session, let's say I have already opened the screens, right? If you want to close the previous session or previous logon, just go and choose this radial button, first one. You can clearly read this. Continue with this logon and end any other logons in the system. When ending any existing logons to the system, so it will, when you choose this option, it will end the previous login. So I don't want to end the previous login, so I go and continue. So I'll be continuing, I'll be working on the both logons if I choose this option. If you want to terminate this logon, the current this login, then you have to choose this terminate this login. So I'll go with this, continue with this logon without ending the other login. So just continue. So this is tick mark is continue button and the red color cross is cancellation button. Okay. So now I logged into SAP ERP application. So you can get the application details here. So what is the system name, what client you are using, what is the user ID you logged in, what program it runs in backend. So transaction. So all these things are available in this option. This is technical details of the current screen or the application. Okay. So let's talk about menus. So when you log into SAP system or application, the first menu you see is easy access menu. SAP easy access menu. So SAP easy access menu is one of the menus or a part of SAP application which is mainly used by business users. So before talking about these menu options, we will talk about the teams who work on SAP applications. So mainly we categorize SAP users into two types, business users and administrators. So business user is a user who creates transactions, who creates inquiries, quotations, orders, delivery, billing documents, or who maintains prices. So whoever is carrying out business functions, business transactions, those are called business users. There will be several hierarchies in business users: end user, order entry clerk, pricing, or super user, core user. So based on their level, the designation, we will have several hierarchies in business user tree itself. Okay. So now the administrator. So administrators means consultants like us who develop business process. Okay, there will be several modules in that in administration team also. So we belong to SAP SD, sales and distribution module. So to summarize it, so the one who creates business transactions and business activities in SAP system is called business user, and the one who administers it, let's say consultants, are called administrators. That's it. So now what is the difference? We have two kinds of menus, two types of menus here: SAP easy access menu, and the other thing is customizing menu. So first talk about SAP easy access menu. So as I said, easy access menu is used to create business transactions. Let's say I want to create a sales order. I use a transaction code called VA01. So initially it will be difficult for you to remember these T codes, transaction codes or T codes. But when you keep working on system, it will be easy for you to remember. But there is a criteria to remember these transaction codes. We will be talking about this criteria in upcoming sessions. So whatever you want to do, let's say the business may be business user or an administrator, I mean the consultant, you should be using transaction code. This is the command bar where you enter transaction code. Let's say I want to create a sales order. So you don't have to worry about this transaction codes. It will be easy to remember. I'm just using VA01. So there is no, small or differentiation here. You can enter any word here. I mean, VA01. I'm entering cap letters now. Sorry, small letters. You can also enter VA01 in caps. So it works. So it opens a screen, create sales order. See, this is how you work. I mean, your transaction code works. So every transaction code or transaction will have a program running in background. You can see the program name here. SAP MV45A is program name, which is running in background for VA01 transaction. You will come to know about these programs. Later. Let's remember that every transaction code will have a program running in background. Okay. So let's say I wanted to create an inquiry. I use a transaction called VA11. So this is to create inquiry. Okay. So this is how your easy access menu works. So easy access menu is meant for business users. And in this easy access menu, business users will create business transactions like inquiry, quotation, order, delivery, billing documents, customer master number, material master number. So many business activities are performed in this easy access menu. Okay. So coming to the customizing menu. So customizing menu is nothing but the administrator's menu. So where consultants will be working. So in order to access your customizing menu, you have to access a transaction code called SPRO. So sometimes it is called SPRO, but call it as SPRO because it got an abbreviation also. It got a full form. So this is how your customizing menu looks like. See, you can see the transaction code SPRO here. So SPRO full form is SAP Project Reference Object. Okay, I'll write it separately in the running notes. Just remember SPRO got a full form, that is SAP Project Reference Object. So this is how it looks initially when you open SPRO, and when you click on this SAP Reference IMG stands for Implementation Guide. Implementation Guide. Yep. So why we are calling as SAP Reference IMG means, so you don't need any coding or you don't need any program development here in SAP to configure your business. You just do settings, configurations to implement SAP for your business. Okay, let's click on SAP reference. So here it takes little time. Let's wait for it. Yes. See, this is kind of cockpit transaction. Cockpit screen where you will have different modules. So you have the configuration areas. This is where you configure your business using all these options. So we mainly work in sales and distribution module. So throughout our course, we will be working here. I guess the maximum times we use this sales and distribution module here, and Now and then we use logistic execution, logistics general, and logistic execution, and also enterprise structure, and also few times we go with financial accounting. So coming back to the customizing menu, this is where all consultants work, may it be sales and distribution consultant or finance consultant or materials management consultant. Everybody work here. Okay, this is what your customizing menu. So coming back to the basics like customizing menu and business menu, that is easy access menu. So why we need to differentiate? So a consultant will have access for easy access. By default, you log in into easy access, correct? So think that I'm a consultant. So when I log into SAP system, I land in easy access menu. So I'm able to create all the transactions here because I'm a consultant. Now I'll also have SPRO access because sometimes I may need configuration access, administrator access. So a consultant can have access for easy access menu and also for SPRO menu, that is customizing menu. But if let's say you are a business user, so you will be having access only for easy access menu. But when you type in SPRO menu, you get an error here. When you try to execute this SPRO transaction here, you get an error saying that you are not authorized to SPRO transaction SPRO because I should not give customizing access to business user. He may go and change. He is not intend or he is not allowed to do any changes to the business process. He is only allowed to create documents and records of business. That's it. So these are the two types of menus. I think you are clear now what is easy access menu and what is customizing menu. Yeah. So let's, I can say easy access menu. It is business user. One is admin or consultants menu. This is called administration menu, but I'm saying it as consultant menu because all consultants will have access for this. So then we will talk about basic sales process. As I said, in the sales and distribution module introduction, a sales will have a series of steps. So what steps it will have? So it is quite common. You can see it in your day-to-day life also. So it is common everywhere, though you record these steps or not, but it is common. So what you will have first is inquiry. Inquiry. Protection. Sales order. Delivery. And billing. So these are the 5 steps involved in any standard sales process. If you want to buy any product, let's say laptop, maybe bike or car or anything else, these are the 5 steps you will be involved in knowingly or unknowingly. Maybe you may be starting with sales order only, but definitely there will be an inquiry which is not recorded in the system. So there will be a quotation which is already performed, but it is not recorded. But in an organized business, it starts with an inquiry. then quotation, then sales order, delivery, billing. So you create all these transactions in SAP system. I can say there is option to create all these transactions in SAP. So to create inquiry, we use a transaction code called VA11 in SAP. And to create a quotation, you use VA21 transaction code. Then for sales order, it is VA01, and for delivery, it is VL01. Then for billing, it is 0. Okay. Now let's uh, go into SAP. Right. I wanted to create an inquiry. VA11 is for inquiry. Change this VA11. So when you open the screen, when you open VA11 transaction, so you will be uh, getting a screen called initial screen where you have to enter a type here. See, it is inquiry type. So inquiry type means, let's say it is a form in SAP. You are filling a form in SAP to create an inquiry. So let's say I'm creating an inquiry now. So you have to just adjust to the spelling here. In English, it is ENQURY, but in SAP, it is termed as INQURY. So you just need to alter this. You have to uh, use to this. You need to use IN instead of EN. Okay. Now, so when you enter IN here, and this is initial screen. When you open VA11 transaction code, the first screen you see is initial screen where you give minimum details like what kind of form you're going to fill. This is an inquiry form. So the type, it is identified as type here, inquiry type, that is IN. So this under this IN, you will have all the fields, all the options which are needed to create an inquiry. So here what I'll do, I'll enter sold to party. Sold to party means your customer number here. Let's say I have a already created customer number here. I'll be using this customer. Don't worry, you will be knowing how to create these customers as well, but in upcoming sessions. Okay, so you don't need to enter ship to party here. It picks ship to party automatically. So for now, select this sales area. It will be very strange to you, but select this any one of the sales areas. Choose continue. The tick mark is continue button. So now, so it has picked information from database, the customer details. Let's say this customer is called ABC and Co. And he got some other details and they will be copied into this transaction. Now I have a material already created in system, that is TT, one quantity. It's one piece. So the scenario here is, the sales scenario here is, there is a customer called ABC and Co. He is purchasing Tata Nexon car from Tata Motors. This is the summary of the transaction. But here, so it is just an inquiry, not a sales order. It is just an inquiry. I'm going to create an inquiry for this Tata Anco for Nexon car. That's it. So it is saying, see, these are the basic functions what I have said. It is carrying out a check here. It is saying something is missing in this document. Okay, let's save it now. So this document is incomplete because something is missing here. So I'm just taking this as an example for creating a transaction, that is inquiry. So like this, you can create quotation. Okay, this is my inquiry number. So let's copy this. This is my inquiry number. Copy this. I used Control C. All the Excel sheet or Word copy or basic function options are available here. So I just pressed Control C to copy this. Let's say ABC and Co wanted to create a quotation for this. I'll be going with transaction code 21. So here I need to enter form type, that is quotation type called QT quotation. So instead of again going and entering sold to party, that is customer and product details, you can create this quotation with reference. If you choose create with reference, so see your inquiry is highlighted here. You copy this inquiry number and copy it. It cannot be copied because, okay, it copied. Yeah, see, inquiry is copied into quotation. So you don't have to enter all this sold to party or material, quantity, pricing information because you already have an inquiry and you are just copying that inquiry into a quotation. That's it. So now create quotation. This will have validity periods. So it was called 2020. Now save it. So this is also incomplete because tax information is missing here. I cannot convert this into a sales order because it is incomplete. So I have a quotation. I'll try to create a sales order with this quotation. I copied this. Go to VA01 transaction. So here I'll enter order type, that is order form type as OR. Okay, instead of creating a new one, I'll copy from quotation. Let's see if it copies. I'll just go to copy option. So I cannot copy this quotation into order because there is something missing in this quotation. Okay, now, so this is how you will have a standard sales process starting from inquiry, quotation, order, delivery, and billing. So SAP uses a separate form for each transaction. So that is what I meant to say here. You will go through this sales process again at the time of configuration. But to know about the basic sales process here, we need to list out all these options here. Let's say inquiry, you create in V11 transaction code and the document type for inquiry is IN. And quotation you create in V821 transaction code and use a transaction code, document type called QT. And for sales order it is OR and you create it in VA01 transaction. And you use LF for creating a delivery. LF is document type here and VL01N is transaction code. So you use VF01 for creating a billing document and VF2 is your document type. Okay. So this is what your basic sales process. Okay. So let's keep it in a table format instead of text. I'll go with the Excel sheet. I write it like this. Something is still processing. Wait for some time. Yeah. So you can say transaction. So this is business transaction, I can say. Business transaction. First column is business transaction. Second column is what we can say document type. Document type in SAP. SAP document type. Then transaction code or T code. I'm just writing it in full. So in future you can remember it as T code. Okay. So now let's say writing it as inquiry, not EN, it is IN. So document type is IN and transaction code is VA11. So then quote or quotation, you identify it with a document type called QT. And if you want to create a quotation document in SAP system, you will be using VA21 transaction. And third activity or third transaction is sales order. You use document type called OR and transaction code is VA0. Then delivery, it is its document type is LF and you create it in 0, 1 and then billing document. You use document type called F2 and transaction code is VF0. So this gives a tabular representation, so it will be easy to understand instead of the plain text. I'll make this as bold. Now this table paste here at the bottom. Edit here. Hope this looks good now. Yeah. Okay. This looks good. So this is what your standard sales process in SAP. Okay. So now there is another topic called getting help in SAP scripts. So what kind of help it is? So let's say I am into quotation. I'll go to VA22 to open quotation. I'll let you know how to remember this T codes later. But for now, let's talk about the help topic. So I am in change mode of a quotation. So let's say you don't know what is ship to party. So there is ship to party field. These all are fields actually. So you don't know what is ship to party here. You wanted to know about the ship to party. So how you will know? Within SAP system, you have a documentation. Okay. Let's say I want to know about ship to party. Place cursor on this field or anywhere in this, either on the title field name or the field value. Press F1. F1 is help button. Okay. So ship to party definition will be there here. The field definition will be there in the help option. So that is, so there is a narration of the ship to party. See here, ship to party, the party who receives delivery of goods. Correct? Yes. This is how you get the help to understand what this field is. Okay, let's uh, go to a different option, different field. Let's say plant. You don't know what is plant. You wanted to see what is plant. You wanted to know what is plant or shipping point. Let's say I want to know something about shipping point. Now what I do, I'll I'll place my cursor here, then press F1. It opens a pop-up which explains uh, something about the shipping point. See here, the physical location from which you ship the item. So where you start delivery. So then you will have all the necessary information to understand the shipping point term in better way. So you have how you use this example, procedure, everything. So whenever you get doubt on a particular field, then go for F1 help. It gives you a lot of information. Okay, this is how you can get help. Okay, now so the other topic is database tables and programs. So as I said, every transaction code will have a program running in its background. Yes. In similar way, every field, every field will have a database table. Let's say I have saved this transaction quotation, right? I have saved this quotation couple of minutes back. When I press save button, these information will go and sit in database tables. Okay, so you can see using help option itself again, you can see in which database table it is storing. Let's say I wanted to see where this plant information of this quotation is stored. Click here, place cursor, go to F1 option, then you see technical information. If you click on this technical information, you get all the necessary, all the technical information of this field. So see, you are in program name, SAP ME45A, screen number, program name, table name. This is the table name. VBP is your table name. Okay, and this is the field name. I say plant, right? PLANT in English, but in SAP language it is WERKS, works we call. This is the technical name of the plant field. Okay, so to get more understanding on these tables, okay, so we will have to explore other options. You need to understand other technical aspects of the application. We will be talking about these technical aspects in next topic. Okay, then programs. So for now, in this syllabus content, copy. For now, you just remember SAP application consists of tables and programs. Leave these terms, data browser, data dictionary, ABAP editor, all these terms. We will talk about them later. Now, we will go to SAP system architecture. SAP system architecture, this thing. So what is architecture? Architecture is nothing but the design of the application. Okay, we'll directly go to SAP to understand it. See, whenever you try to create a transaction in SAP system, you need to enter some inputs. Let's say I wanted to display quotation details, correct? So I know the quotation number. I am entering quotation number here in VA21 screen. I am just pressing enter here, see? Pressing enter. It displays quotation details here in this screen. So how it is able to display this quotation? Let's say I'm going back. I am entering a quotation number 58. It says SD document 58 is not in the database or has been archived. So what is happening? If I enter 57, it opens quotation. So whatever input you give here, so this is called your presentation layer. So the layer with which user interacts is presentation layer. So where you give input and see output. So this is presentation layer. What is happening in background is when you try to enter a number, when you try to execute something, let's say you wanted to open a quotation here. The moment when you press enter like this, system checks whether an entry is available for this quotation in database or not. Okay. It is able to give me this screen, give me all these details because I have saved this transaction earlier. When I save transaction, this quotation earlier, it saved, the details are saved with this quotation number, and this number is, all these details are saved against this number in database table. In the database, I can say. So now you have presentation layer where you can enter inputs and get output. So from where from where you're receiving the output, you are receiving output from database. Okay. Now in between something is happening. Let's say if I enter 58 here, system throws an error message saying that this document is not available in a database. So why? How it is happening? As I said, every transaction will have a program running behind it, correct? This program is called application. System cannot process the data whatever you want blindly, whatever you enter blindly. It validates your inputs. You have given this 58 quotation number as an input. The purpose of this input is to fetch details of the quotation from database. So it searches the application, this program will directly take this number into database layer and checks whether this quotation number is available in database tables or not. 57 is available. That is the reason it is able to get details. 58 is not available. So it is displaying error saying that quotation number 2000058 is not available in database. That means your application is constructed in 3 levels: presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. So presentation layer is layer where you enter inputs, and these inputs are processed by application layer, and if these inputs are available in database or can be processed by the system, then it throws, it gets messages or data from database layer. So you need to remember 2 things here. So when you want to create a transaction, let's say you're going to create an inquiry now. So the moment you save this transaction, okay, let's say I I am entering a number, material number called TTTTT, 5 T's. It throws a message saying that this material is not available. So that means system validates everywhere. Each and every field you enter as input will be validated by this application, that is program. Your application layer is set of rules for processing your data. It cannot process a random entry, whatever you enter here. No, it has to be the genuine information. That means these details should have been stored in database already. You have to use a number here in material field, which is already created as a material. When you create a material master, material number, the data will be saved in a set of tables. So material master data will be stored in a bunch of tables. Now, the moment when you enter this material here, this SAP MV45A program directly checks whether this material with 5 T's is available in material master tables or not. If that is available, then only it brings, it processes data. If not, it rejects. This is how it rejects. Let's say I am processing material TT. Now it is available, so it did not throw any error. Now, once I save this, all this information, I'm just saving the transaction now. This is save option, or you can also go for Control S. I'm using Control S now. See, the information whatever you have provided in this form is stored as an inquiry number in database. 23 is your inquiry number. If you want to open this now, when you create something in creation mode, system will push data from presentation layer to database layer, and this data is validated by application layer. So if everything is fine, system stores your data in database tables, or it throws a message back to you. It returns, it rejects the information whatever you entered with error messages. This is how it is constructed. SAP application is constructed in 3 layers. So creation mode, we know about creation mode. Now let's say display mode. Now you wanted to open a quotation, an inquiry, which is I go to VA22 transaction. Sometime it's not opening. Okay. So if you want to open or to see details of an inquiry which is already created, you enter inputs. You go to a transaction called VA22 and enter this inquiry number in VA22, then press enter. So system checks in database. The moment when you press enter, the program which runs in its background takes this number and checks in database. If this number is available in database, then it populates an output to you. If not, it throws an error message saying that this number is not available in database. Okay, so that is what your system architecture. So let's come back to nodes. So system architecture consists of 3 layers: presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Specific presentation layer, where layer is the layer where you provide where can say where user interacts maybe inputs and outputs, I can say. So, whatever it is, input or output, you give input, you take output, that's it. Then application layer is nothing but of programs validate and extracts info database. So database layer where information is stored. So if application layer allows inputs, then it stores, system stores information in database layer. That's it. So why I need to store it in database layer? For future use, correct? So data you need to store. That's it. I don't have to talk more about this. So this is how it looks in a pictorial representation. You can see like this. You will have presentation layer. You enter inputs here in presentation layer. This application layer will process. If your inputs are correct, then it checks in database. Either it saves the database, information in database, or in creation mode it saves in database mode, database layer, and in display mode or change mode it retrieves. When you process inputs, let's say you give input, it processes an application layer. If there is a record, then it will be displayed again in presentation layer in the form of output. That is whatever system architecture. 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. Correct? Now, this is the reason it is called as R3 architecture. 3-tier architecture. 3 tiers, 3 levels. This is called as R3. Right like this. 3-tier architecture. R3 architecture or architecture. That's it about architecture. Now, let's talk about system landscape. This is also important to understand your application development. So, landscape, the arrangement of systems, I can say, the arrangement of servers. So here, if you take any application development, so why do we develop applications? To be used by a group. Let's say I am using Google Pay application app. So Google Pay application, for me, Google Pay application is a business application. Let's say I'm a user for it, right? For Google company to manage this application, they will have 3 servers. Like development server, quality server, production server. So as a user, I log in into production server because this production server is the real-time transactions server, the real business happening server. Why I need to have three different systems here? Why? Because if Google wants to change something, I mean, change an option or um, introduce an option, it should not directly change here in production server, the real business server. Why? Because if something goes wrong, it will, it will affect the entire system. Let's say all the users who are using this application will be affected. That means you should never do changes in production system. That means you should not do any change in production system because your real business runs there. Then how do you manage your changes? Let's say Google wanted to introduce some new options. They cannot directly introduce here. No, they start developing here in development server. So once it is developed, the option is developed, a new feature is developed in development server, it is moved to quality server for further testing. So once you develop it here in development server, you test it uh, to check whether it is working or not, working as expected or not. Once the developer feels that it is okay, then he moves changes to quality server. Quality means your quality assurance server where there will be a separate team to test it, whether it is working as expected or not. They'll try all the ways to test it, not one or two ways, all the ways, whether it got, whether it is impacting existing process or not. Every aspect they cover here. Once they confirm it is fine, the new option is working fine, and it is not impacting the existing functionalities. After getting confirmation, then only they will move it to production server. So this is how your changes are managed in application development. Okay. Yeah. So now, so transports, managing change.